I'm just at my computer doing some editing, and good old YouTube studio, I'm looking for music, and I found a song called My Dog Is Happy. As if you can go past that. Yep, so that's what you're listening to now. Hey guys, welcome back. I have decided to split these blogs up, so we're going to talk now about medication and what it was like for me starting medication. It is a very personal and bit uncomfortable story for me, and it's not something that I like talking about, but I think it is very important. So like I've told you, I went through quite a lot of counselling, and I did quite a lot of personal, I suppose, trial and error before I even thought about going on medication, and I was very much against it. I thought that I was going to be able to heal myself naturally, I suppose. I follow a lot of people on social media, and I know a lot of people do, that are all about natural remedies and just, you know, being able to control your mind through, you know, exercise and diet and meditation and whatever else. But for me, unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I did all of those things. I did, you know, I ate really healthily. I was training most days. I was seeing a counsellor, and, you know, I was trying to have at least one day a week that I just got out and did something for me, and staying on top of all my uni but still going to work, and just trying to live that really balanced lifestyle. And I think I was doing that quite well, but that's not where the anxiety and the depression and the body dysmorphia, that's not where it was. Like, that wasn't the basis for it for me. I definitely had other aspects at play, and a really quite large hormonal imbalance, I think, which I couldn't fix just through natural remedies, and it was a big decision for me to start medication. So when the doctor said, so I see, I don't know if I've explained this before, I see a separate doctor and counsellor. So a psychologist is someone who is like just does psychology. They're not able to prescribe medications at all. So if you're seeing a psychologist and you need medication, you would then have to see a doctor, and that's what I've done. Or there's a psychiatrist, and they are both a psychologist and a doctor, so they're able to prescribe medications in terms of mental health and whatnot. So I was seeing a doctor and my counsellor, and they had both said to me on a couple of occasions, it might be worthwhile you trying some medication out. It's not a big deal if it doesn't work. You can just come off it. If it does work, great, then you can trial it for a little while and then come off it, or you might be on it long term, and that's okay as well. But it just didn't sit right for me. I'd heard a lot of really bad stories about medication, I suppose. I've had really close friends and some friends of friends, I suppose, who had trialed medication and it had gone the opposite way for them, sort of made them worse, or it had changed their personality a lot. And also, I just really hate the idea of going on medication for something. I don't take medication lightly, so it was really upsetting for me. And I remember coming home and talked to Connor about it, and he just said, look, it doesn't matter if you go on it for a little while, you know, you can always come off it, and, you know, you've got a good support network around you of people who are going to tell you straight up to your face if things do change. And so there's a lot of people that have your back, and it's okay, and it's worth trying. And, you know, one of the things I remember my counsellor saying to me is, look, you're not getting in a good enough position for us to work with. Like, you're getting in ruts and then just making clear, and then you get in a rut again, and we need you in that clear space so that we can practice these strategies so that you can implement them into your life. And that was kind of the deal breaker for me, was you're not getting well enough. So even at the points in time where I felt very good, it was still quite low for normal standards. So I did start medication. I won't talk about what medication, because there's a lot of different ones, and it's very personal, and that's something between you and your doctor. But I did have quite a lot of side effects, and all of the medications do have a lot of side effects, so you need to be aware of those. especially with all medications, I reckon you really need to sit down and read the pamphlet and know what you're in for. But with with this one, I really I sat down and I read through the CMI, and I looked at all of the different side effects that they say that you can have, and really just went okay and prepared myself for it. And I think it's really important with these medications is that they can make you worse. So you do need, it is good for you to have a support network around you to recognize those. So I know with mine, it literally said can increase suicidal ideations. And, you know, I was in the lowest point that I'd been at that point in time. And so for me, that was terrifying, and I really didn't want to take them. But I did. And so for 2 weeks, I was very, very nauseous, didn't want to eat, I didn't have any appetite. The first week I had headaches, really, really bad headaches, and I lost a lot of hair. So I would wash my hair and it would fall out in clumps. I just felt cloudy. It's a very weird feeling. Like I didn't feel comfortable driving because I just felt my judgment was cloudy. And even in conversation and stuff, like Connor would say something to me and I'd have to ask him to repeat it because I was just like, I have no idea what you just said. But even so, even with the feeling sick, within a week I'd picked up. So my moods had really lifted. So I was very lucky that they got the medication right the first time for me, and that my moods were lifting. So it was a big decision, but it was the right decision for me. I think honestly that medications have enabled me to get through the end of my university degree, but also all the other challenges that I was happening at that point in time. So my honours, my placements, job hunting, house hunting, the fact that I have to move away from Connor for another year and George, and you know, just any family things that are going on that always happen, and I was able to cope, whereas before I wouldn't have. I just think it's very important to keep your options open. I was very naive in thinking that, you know, it was something that I could solve, and, you know, I'll be Superwoman and be able to just wake up one morning and be fantastic and I'll never get a low mood ever again. And it's just not reality for me. It's definitely a chemical imbalance for me, and it's something that I needed help with. And now I do have my strategies in place, and they're concrete. You know, I know if something's going wrong, that's what I do. Yeah, so people around me, what they've been able to see and change, and you know, they enjoy spending time with me a lot more, I think, and they're not worried about me as much. You know, my friends used to, you know, really be very concerned about me at uni some days, and there was some days in particular that they just wouldn't let me out of their sight. So they thought I would hurt myself, and they don't have to worry anymore. And Connor's not worried anymore. He you know, we don't even think about it. It's the fact that I had depression and was, you know, having those suicidal thoughts. It's not even a part of our lives at the minute. It's very much we're living a normal life. We're very happy. I'm able to go out and be involved in social activities and whatnot. So yeah, it's been a very positive thing for me. I do have friends that it hasn't worked for, but the bottom line is there's nothing wrong with giving it a go, and being able to keep your options open is very important. I'm not saying, oh, I've got low moods, I'll go take medications. I'm not saying that at all. So, you know, I was going to counselling for 2 years before I made this decision. So it wasn't, I tried every other avenue, and I highly recommend doing that. But I do kick myself a little bit that, you know, when it was first brought up about medication, I didn't say okay then, because that was before I went into those really, really low places. So, yeah, I suppose listen to your doctors. Make sure that if you are seeing a separate counsellor and doctor, that they're connected and they know what's going on and they're communicating. But yeah, guys, just be open-minded and do whatever you need to do, or whatever feels right for you. Yeah, alrighty. I will see you in my next video. I hope everyone's taking care of each other and being kind, and practicing self-kindness and compassion, as I always say. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. And yeah, I'll see you next time.